2016 community survey this evening. The Statistician-General will hand over the release to ministers in the Presidency Jeff Radebe after releasing the key data, who will accept it on behalf of the President. The release contains data giving insight on municipal performance, labour markets and education. For more on this, we're now across to our reporter Mbongeni Muthwa, who's in Pretoria. Very good evening to you, Mbongeni. What exactly is this community survey?
Well, it's a form of a census, really, but unlike the census, which is all about the head count of everyone in the country, where every household is visited and everyone living inside the house is counted, this survey is a sample. Statistics, we understand this time around, they have sampled around 1.5 million households spread all over the country, basically to check if there are improvements in the quality of life of all people living in this country. And they're looking at things like how many people live in what type of houses, whether they are rural houses, urban houses, informal settlements and so on, to see the change in patterns there. And also the most important thing about this particular survey is it's only the second community survey that SABC has conducted since the dawn of democracy in 1994. The first one, of course, was conducted back in 2007. Also, another important point about this survey is it comes just 5 years after the last census, which was in 2011. So there are very interesting comparisons that can be made in terms of what has happened with regards to the quality of life of everyone in this country since the last census. Basically, it looks at things like access to housing, education, piped water or running water, electricity and so on, but it gets inside the houses and checks, if people have things that some people take for granted, like TV, fridge, DSTV, how many people have that, how many don't. And it looks at farm workers to see if their living conditions are improving or not. So it's very widespread. It also looks at even immigration patterns. If there are any changes there, who exactly among the foreigners is in this country, which is the most country that is sending foreigners here, followed by which country. It looks at why people are leaving their countries and coming here. It looks at internal migration, how many people are leaving, for instance, rural areas to go to urban areas, the patterns there and so on. It's very wide-ranging and it's very, very important, Peter.
Very briefly, Mbongeni, I guess this is coming at an opportune time. I'm sure politicians are watching the results of this with keen interest and perhaps going to use it in their campaigns.
I think it's very reasonable to expect that, because if you look at this survey, if you want an answer as to how government is performing in terms of its mantra that the government and its alliance partners, the COSATU and the SABC, are always talking about, that their primary focus is to meet the challenge of what they call the triple challenge, which is poverty, unemployment and inequality. If you want to see how government is doing with regard to that, you just have to look at the survey. All the data that you need to gauge how government is performing with regards to that, you will find it in this survey, Peter.
Okay, Mbongeni, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you very much indeed. And we will be crossing there a little bit later on this evening to get the full story on that. Now,